Hello. I've been tasked by a friend to make them a personal alarm system. So what they wanted was something that when, say if they're in trouble or something, they pushed a button and it would send text messages out to a group of people to let them know that they had issues and something. And so there are systems available, but they tend to cost a few £100s. So they asked me if I could build anything cheaper, and this is what I've come up with. So what we've got here, it runs off 2AA batteries. This is a DC-DC converter which converts the voltage from the batteries up to 5 volts. Julian and Alette actually did a video about these, and this is where they got the idea of what using this from. It's actually a really quite fascinating device, this converter. Then that goes to a MOSFET, so the MOSFET is a switch that's off all the time, and then the actual input from the batteries, which is switched via negative, is switched via this MOSFET, so it only connects the batteries when you push the button. There's a GRSM module. So this is actually the module that does the sends the text messages, and that's also got the SIM card in it, so you have to have a SIM card in there, so it registers onto a network, and it's all being driven by an Arduino. So I'm recording this on my phone now, so my phone should bib, but basically the idea is push the button, and you see a red light come up here. When the red light stays lit, you can take your finger off the button again. So I push the button, red light's on, and now it's going to sit there and it's going to try and send text messages to the phone I'm recording on. So my phone should start bibbing in a minute. You see all the lights flashing. So it's sending messages, or registering yourself on the network, and it's just sending messages. And then there you go. So LED 13, so the little red light on the Arduino flashed. When it flashes, it's actually the message is sent. So it should flash again because it sends 2 messages. There you go, just receives a message. See, it flashes, the message is gone. I should very quickly receive another message now. Anytime soon. There you go. And what you also noticed is it's powered itself off. But it only powers itself off after it's sent the messages. So if it can't get into signal or anything, it will just keep trying and trying and trying until the batteries will wear down. Otherwise it will turn itself off. And that's basically all there is to it. I'm going to show you the code and maybe a little circuit diagram and all the components that I've used. I put all little attached pictures of. But yeah, it's really quite nice and simple. The library that you need to download is this Arduino GPRS master. And if you open up the Arduino GPRS master and you export it into your Arduino IDE package, you get all these example programs that you can use, and the one that we're basically using is just this GPRS send MSN. So we're using that, and we're just modifying it for our needs. The GPRS module I'm using is a 800L. I'll link it in. But they're common as muck. They're really cheap. I think it was about £7 I actually spent on it, so it's a really cheap module. So the actual library says what pins to connect it on. So you've got TX, RX on what pins, and then pins 9 and 12 aren't used, but I've left them blank because there is information coming out on pin 9, but so just don't use pin 9 and 12. And the actual code, really simple. It's basically the library. I've added a few bits. So I've added these pin modes and these digital reads and writes just so I hold the MOSFET on. So the first thing it does when it turns on is it holds that MOSFET on to keep power to the actual unit. And then this is all just the standard example code here. And then I've taken my number out obviously because I've got my number plus over the internet, but you put in your phone number there, and then this is the message that you wanted to send. And then I do some LED flashing on pin 13 so you can tell when the message has been sent, and actually send the message twice to different numbers. And you can just copy and paste that code so you send it as many numbers as you want. You can however many you can store in memory basically. Do some more LED flashing so you know it's gone. Then you go to the loop. It doesn't need to be a loop because it turns itself off. So basically I do a 10-second delay. There's really no need for a delay, but I put a delay in there to give it some time to, I suppose, finish off what it's doing. Again, I don't think it's needed. And then you just turn off the inputs, which switches off the MOSFET and stops power going to the device, and the thing goes back into standby. So on standby, there's no current draw. So yeah, it's fairly simple code. It's just the example code which comes with the library, and just modify it a tiny bit for what you need it for. The standard connections are in the library of the Arduino to the GPRS module. The only other thing I've got on here, of course, is this DC-DC converter, which is just to boost the power and batteries. And then literally what I'm doing is literally switching the negative feed from the batteries to the DC-DC converter via the MOSFET, and then of course the MOSFET switched via the Arduino. The MOSFET I'm using is it's got a low drive voltage, so you don't have to hold the gate up very high. The first one I used, you needed to have a charge. I added a charge pump, which was being driven by a PWM pin, so you're boosting the voltage up, so you could drive the MOSFET. But this MOSFET is only a low gate voltage, so I'm able to get away with it. So it cuts down on component cost.